It has come to my attention that we all need another edition of the best names of animal, plants, and other. So here we go, Gallery of Best Species Names, Part 2. Starting off with our friends, the lovely fairy wren, and I can't even fault this one because they are in fact quite lovely. Now there are a few different types of bird that go by this. There's also the splendid fairy wren and the splendid starling, both of which are incredibly splendid. But on the other end of bird names, there is this guy, the Eurasian thick-knee. Why are we doing him like that? Of course, it could be worse. You could be known as this guy, who goes by the obese dragonfish, or even worse, our friend over here, who is simply known as the blue bastard. Fish names really do be going on, because this guy is known as the boops boops, or perhaps this interesting looking anglerfish who is known as the can opener smooth dream. Yeah. Back to insects, we have our spiritual successor to the jumping spider called the murderer. This lad up here is a moth known as just the magician. But you know, it could always be worse. This guy goes by the name Smew. This is a Smew. However, again, it can always be worse, because this type of catfish is known as the goonch. We also have some better names. This one up here is the gumleaf skeletonizer, which is one of the most badass names I've ever come across. Another super badass one is this guy, the Dreadnoughtus, which is probably one of, if not the coolest dinosaur names. But on the other end of that, there is the Irritator, a type of dinosaur named because scientists had such a bad time putting the skeleton of this guy together. They named it the Irritator after the irritation that they felt. And up here is the New Zealand pickle slug. And I'm gonna be so honest, this is the only possible name that this guy could have. If you tried naming this guy anything else other than a pickle slug, it just wouldn't work. This is so very much a pickle slug. Similarly, this lad up here is the potato puffer. Even more interesting fish, this is the wahoo.
You're a wahoo.
But again, just a reminder that it can always be worse. This lad is just the slippery dick. And I am so very glad that it was only this fish that came up when I googled those words in that order. In the same vein, this luscious plant is called the hooker's lips. Again, so glad that this is what Google gave me. Now this lad, while a bit better than the last two, is just called the bufflehead. Which, sure, why not? But this poor guy over here is called the Brazilian dumpy frog. Again, why are we doing him like that? Now this guy is in here just because I think the name is very fun to say. This is the chachalaca. Another interesting bird. This one is named the red-cheeked cordon bleu, which, you know what, I kinda get. But this guy over here is called the friendly bush warbler. Is he friendly? I don't know. Similarly, this is the unexpected cotton rat. Why is he unexpected? I don't know. I didn't really look into the name. This guy is called the dead horse arum lily. Why? Couldn't tell ya. But this one I could tell you. This is the shag carpet caterpillar moth, and you know what? I get it. But these guys over here are called the common snook. What the hell is a snook? Now, these guys, they have probably the best scientific names that I have heard in a while. This is actually a genus of 3 different frogs. Now, the species names of all 3 of these frogs, there is Achir, Mum, and Escuel, with the genus name Mini, so that makes these frog names Mini Achir, Mini Mum, and Minuscule, which is the best thing I have ever seen. And finally, I need to give a specific shout out to a group of people who went through and gave a bunch of robber flies in North America and Mexico who did not previously have common names a bunch of absolutely fucking fantastic common names, including, but not limited to, River Ruffian, Mexican Fancyfoot, Painted Pixie, Pretty Bandit, Metallic Micropanther, Texas Goggle Eye, Hairy Twigsetter, Siberian Sand Pirate, Arizona Red Eye, Backstabber, Dwarf Rusty Robber, Giant Marauder, Northern Tyrant, Little Lionfly, Boreal Assassin, Texas Micropirate, Fiery Raider, California Rainbow Robber, and Hellhound Sand Pirate. Whew! And again, there are more of these guys, so shout out to this group. Absolutely fucking peak. And of course, we cannot forget our dear friend, Harry Nuts Disco.